Okay. This is Adam Gorney on the Rival Signing Day show with new Georgia Tech coach Brent Key. And Brent, it's been busy and taking over the job. What's it been like these first few months in an interim role and now getting the head job?
I mean, you can say whirlwind, but I don't think that really does it justification, because it's taking over on week 5 of the season, and then having to play the games and prepare for the games, but yet continuing to recruit and maintain the relationships. It was extremely important to us on the staff to do that, and I don't think we sit here today with the ability to even get some of those guys to join our program if we didn't do that through the end of the season, through the last the final 10 weeks of the season. So it was a grind. It was something that had to be done. It's something that and then that'll continue moving forward. But it's there's a few days coming up here where I'm probably gonna have a little eggnog and lay down on the couch and wake up whenever I do. So
yeah. You take over, and credit to you and the team. You go to Pitt, and that could have turned ugly, but you guys won that game. Then against a good Duke team, you win, and that's an impressive start. Let's talk recruiting. There's high school guys, there's portal guys. There's a whole lot to think about here. And what's your philosophy on the portal? How to use it? You've definitely used it to your advantage so far.
Yeah, I'm a firm believer in developing your roster, really through the high schools, the local high schools within your state, recruiting your backyard, making sure that that's a priority. Then reaching out to the neighboring states and the kind of the footprint that we feel is important to us in places we've had success in the past. The transfer portal is something that's here. It's not going away. People can spend all the time they want talking about it or what they think it should be or not be or this and that. But to me, that's all they're doing is wasting time trying to figure out the ways to use it to their advantage. So our philosophy is we're going to recruit the high schools here in the state of Georgia. We're going to recruit the neighboring states. We're going to develop our program and our locker room really from the inside out when it comes to those things. And then you look at the transfer portal, and there's really two sorts of guys that are in there. There's the 1-year guys, and then there's the guys with multiple years of playing left. So taking a guy with multiple years to me is really you're adding to your locker room, because they still have a chance to develop within the culture of your team in the locker room and around the other players. There's a certain amount of shared adversity that the kids here at Georgia Tech go through, whether it be at practice, going to the same classes, all the things that college kids bond over. So now the other hand of that is the kind of the 1-year guys that come in. So now in my opinion, there's a athletic ability and ability to help you standpoint that we look at and that we judge and evaluate these guys on. But then there's also the character portion, where is this guy going to be able to come into the locker room and fit in right away, really from the team accepting him and then him accepting the team. So, regardless of what success you might have on the field, there's that bond that has to take place with your teammates. So really the evaluation, you have the high school evaluation, you have the transfer evaluation, but then that transfer evaluation we look at as two separate things.
Yeah. You went to the portal for a quarterback, a big one, highly touted, very heavily recruited out of high school. It didn't work at Texas A&M. Haynes King. What do you see from him? What can he bring to your team, maybe immediately on the field with the ability that he has?
Yeah, fortunately, our quarterback coach Chris Winkie had a prior relationship, having recruited him in another place, and when the opportunity came around, that's the type of relationships that Chris makes with kids and their families. We were able to get back involved this time around with him. So, as far as what he brings, he's a big, strong kid. He's a dynamic athlete with the ball in his hands. And I think that's important. It's important for us. It's important in college football across the board, but really for us and where we're at in our program right now, we want to have guys that can make plays, obviously with their arm at that position, but also be able to pull the ball down, and whether it's a designed run at times, here and there, or ability to make something happen when protection breaks down in front of them and get positive plays. That's important for us. So, and then we want to continually build the quarterback room where those guys all complement each other, where, they have, different qualities, but a lot of them aligned in the same way. So, and then when you got a guy that tall and can see over the line and be able to, see what's in front of him, and then you bring him and you put him with what, in my opinion, is the best quarterback coach in the entire country, in Chris. And he's worked with, everyone from, the junior high kids in his career all the way up to all pro guys and Hall of Famers, and trained them and developed them. So, and then his resume of success of what we did last season with the way the quarterback situation played out with injuries, and then having to platoon 2 guys towards the end of the season and being able to go up to North Carolina and pull that win off, with 2 different quarterbacks who really not played a whole lot of football that season, last season. Tremendous respect for Chris as a teacher and a coach. So you put the combination of those things together, we feel like we have something really special.
Always important to load up on the offensive line. Was that a bias of yours as an offensive line coach to get so many, or was that something that was absolutely needed?
Yeah, it's needed. And like I said earlier, that is the most developmental position of all positions. And, there's a pattern of success here at Georgia Tech over the last, even the last 25, 30 years. And, that's the position we felt like we could bring guys in that would develop within the program. Fortunately, I was able to work with all of those guys during summer camps, see them practice, see them play live before the transition even occurred. So I know what we're getting with those guys. I know who they are. I know their strengths, their weaknesses, things they need to develop with, and being able to hold on to those guys through the whole transition and then all the way to signing day, I thought was a good win, a really good win for us.
I'm going to call it now. I think the sleeper of the class is Evan Dickens, a late ad, a running back, very talented kid. You don't lead IMG in rushing touchdowns unless you're pretty good. How did that all kind of come together and getting him in here?
Yeah, so he's a local kid, an Atlanta kid. Had gone to high school here, transfers to IMG. Fortunate, again, I'm not making this the Chris Winkie show, but he's got some pretty close relationships down there, being that he started the place. So the football program there. So we got his film. We watched watched a little bit of some highlights and dug in a little bit deeper. Watched some more film. Some of the coaches there have relationships to us up here that we really trust to tell us some things that you might not see on film. He can run the ball inside, outside. He can press the outside zone, the stretch play, one cut, get north and south. You look at him, his running back style, and you evaluate that. But the thing that everyone was extremely high on him down there with was the way his understanding of pass protections, his communication of the pass protections, to everyone on the offense, and his ability to stick his face in there and pick up blitzers and know where his protection pickups were. And that's something you rarely see at the high school level, or those guys that have a pretty broad understanding of protection. So it was a credit to the intelligence of Evan, and we felt like he'd be able to be a guy that came in here and gave us it'd be a good asset for us in the running back room.
That is new Georgia Tech coach Brent Key. Brent, thanks for joining us so much today.
Appreciate it, guys.
All right.